Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Acad Systems free online lessons. And today for Revit Master Series 2, I will be conducting a topic related to staircase and railing. Okay, so the purpose of having this session is actually for you to fully understand how staircase and railing works in Revit, and how to fully utilize all features, all the settings, okay, all additional settings inside staircase, edit type, and so on. Okay, so thank you for attending this webinar. Okay, we've got few. Okay, so we have around 20 participants up to now. So before we begin, let us do some short polls. Okay, so this is I would like to have a background check for you to know what is your background, okay, and where are you currently working from now. Okay, and throughout this online lesson, if you guys have any questions, any things that you would like to ask, you feel free to drop me a chat. You just click the chat button down there, and either me or our technical team will reply to you as soon as possible during this session. Okay, and I will attend all those questions by the end of the sessions. Okay, so we've got here, most of you are the architects. Okay, thank you very much for your answer. So we've got here almost half of you are from architect backgrounds, and some of you are from M&E engineering and others. So I hope the other disciplines will be learning something new today. Okay, and for architects, it's also good for you to understand how this thing would works in your daily modeling job scope. Okay, all right. So before we begin, let us walk through our website. So this is our Acad Systems homepage, and you just go to acadsystems.com and you will find more information related to our products and services. Okay, we are the Gold Partner, and then we have the latest promotions available in our web store, and then we have the series of upcoming webinars, upcoming online lessons waiting for you. So feel free to join our next session later. Okay, and we have also the scheduled training. So if you feel free to ask us any questions by dropping us your inquiry in this form. Fill in your name, your email, phone number, and your inquiry. Okay, our team will get back to you. Okay, so okay, staircase and railing is very for me it's a very particular topic, because even though you are working as architects, you are working as structural engineer, or you are working as a contractor, so structural for staircase and railing is very particular, and some people claim that doing staircase and railing would be the hardest part to be modeled in Revit. Okay, and this is not this would be true, because staircase and railing would need your special attention. Okay, it's not just like doing wall, floors, and so on, because the methods of doing staircase for some reason needs to be aligned with the local authority standards, okay, your regulation standard, and so on. Okay, so before we go further into the staircase modeling, okay, for those who are not familiar with Revit terms and options that we have available in Revit. So if you look at the Revit user interface, you will find these staircase definitions available. Later I will show you in the software. Okay, and what is the crucial terms that you need to understand is how you're going to define the base and top levels. Okay, this is very basic. if you're not really clear about how to define your base and top levels, then your staircase will be going somewhere else. So it needs to be clear. Also the desired stair height, okay, and the desired numbers of rises, okay. And these things, the numbers of rises is already set up by calculated by Revit automatically, okay. But you there is a way for you to, of course, for you to customize and so on, okay. And then the run width is should be commonly used by key in the right run width, okay. And the most particular thing is about the riser and track depth. Okay, so we understand that in Malaysia we have the regulation saying that for riser must be at least 180, for track depth must be at least 255. So for this kind of situation, so sometimes if you cannot do the standard modeling in Revit, sometimes we have to do it we have to do the in-place modeling to achieve the actual construction detailing. Okay, and for modeling staircase, so I have prepared the workflow for you to understand how we're going to start and what is the next step after this. Okay, and to start with, we have to set the minimum and the maximum value, whatever available for that. Okay, and then we have also to set the base and top levels. Okay, and define option bar, always draw from bottom to top, open 3D and section view, define step parameters, begin and with riser, and also the additional option for multi-story staircase. Okay, so I'll go one by one on how to start with this. So let's say I'm going to Revit staircase modeling. So this would be some sort of basic features in staircase. So I'm using a straight staircase, a bit of spiral staircase, and also some sort of, we have also the centric spiral staircase, and we can also do some sort of custom shape of the staircase modeling. Okay, so let us do from scratch. So let's say if you want to do the staircase, so please bear in mind you have to be very clear about the staircase height. Okay, about the staircase, because leveling must be defined in the early stage of your model, and staircase should come later. It will follow whatever levels that you are playing with. Okay, all right. So to start with, you must go with ground floor plan view, and to start with the staircase modeling, then you just need to go with stair and go to properties, choose the right type. Okay, so in here we have 3 types of staircases available for Malaysian standards. We have the assemble stair, means steel staircase. It could be a prefab staircase also. Okay, and then also we have the cast in place stair. Also we call the concrete staircase or cast in situ staircase. And we also have the precast stair, and precast is also only for concrete precast staircase and all the work. Okay, and let's say we want to start with the standard staircase assemble stair. Okay, and then what you need to define is, first is define the base level and top level. And if you have a multi-story building, okay, for instance, I'm doing a multi-story here. So let's say I'm adding some grids. Okay. Okay. So you will see there are additional levels added. Okay. And for stair, I will go with assemble stair, pick the run, and let's say we try with the straight staircase. Okay. And while working with the modeling, okay, you have to define, okay, the actual location line. So for instance, you have the walls running over here. Okay, so let's say this is the wall modeling, and if you want to run the staircase, so what what does it mean by location line is that if you choose to have a run center, okay, means that whatever line that you draw, the staircase will be central, will be the center of your model. And if you choose to have the run left, means that your drawing line would be on the left side and the staircase will be on the right side. Same goes to for run right. If you choose to have the run right, your staircase will be on the left side, while your lines, your drawing lines, will be on the right side. So this would be set depends on the design. Okay, for instance, I'm using run left, and while working on the staircase, you will see the expected of numbers of rises stated here is 22, and you will see there is how many rises created and how many rises remaining stated in a very dim text down there. So just need to see it clearly. Okay, and you can stop anywhere, or you can do straight staircase like this. Okay, okay, but okay, let's say I'm finished with this. Okay, but if you have the kind of different layout of staircase, so what we need to do is to model the stair, okay, and choose whatever type that you want, run a straight staircase. Okay, let's say you're going to deal with this L shape. Okay, just start with any point you want. Okay, okay, let's say I'm starting with 12 rises created. Okay, and if you want to create an automatic landing, so you just need to proceed with the next step. So please avoid, ignore the landing because it will be created automatically for you. And while creating the next steps, you will see there is an automatic landing created by default. Okay, and when you click finish, so this will be the way you do standard staircase modeling in Revit. Okay, so it comes along with the standard railing. Of course, you can change this. Okay, you can change to whatever railing that you have here. Okay, let's say if you have any other types, the pipe types like this. Okay, so this I will go into this railing standards after this. Okay, and then there are a few more options. Okay, if you are thinking of doing this standard staircase, then it's good for you. But sometimes if the client requires some sort of a spiral staircase or some sort of like what we call it, the eccentric spiral staircase, okay, then we can go back to level 1, and let's say you want to go with some sort of spiral staircase. Okay, we have two options here: is the center end spiral and also the full step spiral. Okay, and so let's say we go to the center end spiral, and you just need to define the center of the spiral staircase. Okay, and if you set this model to be ended at level 2, then it will create exact model to be stopped at level 2. But if you change the level to be level 6, for instance, okay, then you also need to define the internal radius. For this, for instance, you will have the radius of, let's say, 300. Okay, what you need to do is to create the staircase. Sorry. Okay. Say that go to level 2. Okay. Define the. Okay, and then you will see number of steps that you need to model like this. Okay, and it will also mention it here. Okay, and if you want to use another type of spiral staircase modeling, okay, then this will be automatically created for you. So this is the full step spiral. So the other type is to control numbers of steps. So I would highly suggest you go with full step. So it's the same output with the same with a little bit different of controlling methods. Okay, and then you have to click finish. So whenever you want to click another staircase, please bear in mind to click finish buttons, or else it will affect your existing model. Then let's say you want to go with another L-shaped window like this. Okay, and by default, it will brings you to the exact number of rises and steps, okay, because it's already calculated for you. So let's say I'm putting it here, this model, and if you want to control the number of steps on each site, then you can move this button, okay, or you can add this button more to add more steps, then it will control numbers of steps. And for every staircase that you created, okay, so we have a very small arrow button here, arrow grip button, and very small dot grip button. So the purpose of having these two buttons is to control number of steps. Okay, for arrow, okay, it's to control number of steps for each steps sites. Okay, and then for bubble, for this dot grid, is to add or reduce numbers of steps that you require. For instance, up to now you are creating, say that 22, okay, and then for this bubble button, if you click and drag this bubble, then it will add 2 more steps without affecting other sites. Okay, so this is how you're going to tidy up your staircase modeling, okay, and then you can click finish. Okay, and then if you want to have another type of staircase, let's say for custom modeling staircase, what you need to do is to go with, sorry, sorry for that, I'm not sure why. Okay, so let's say you have a custom type of staircase for you to model this stair with create sketch, custom sketchings options. So what you need to do is to click this create sketch option, okay, and then you have 3 items that need to be drawn. First is you need to define the boundary. Then you have to define the riser, okay, and then the stair path will be located here, okay, and then if you want to have the boundary line created, like for arch model, you can have this, for instance, like this, okay, and then you can specify the position like this, okay, for instance. And then if you want to, the next thing to do is to create the riser, okay, and click at the line here and draw the riser. For instance, we will have, let's say, 300, okay, and then you will need to copy this with multiple and constraint, okay, and then we will go with this. Let's say this would be your steps, okay, and then you need to stretch the step into the boundary. So it's like creating a 2D layout for now, and then tidy up the model using trim extend. Okay, like this. Okay, and then next thing to do is to define the stair path. So stair path would be the center point of the staircase, like this. And then let's say we would like to shorten these shapes. by splitting the line here and delete. Okay, and this would be totally manual methods of creating the staircase. Okay, and then when you click finish, you are creating a customized shape of staircase, okay, with your desired shapes. Okay, so this would be the custom shapes of your staircase. Okay, so for, let's say, for the hall staircase, for the hallway staircase, and hotel lobby, for this kind of staircase, you will find very regular for in that kind of location. So this would be the method of creating a staircase model. Then if you want to change the settings, so we'll go into the settings. What you will see what we can change. Okay, we have draw from bottom to top. We have defined in a 3D and section view, and now we have to define the stair parameters, run, landing, and support. Okay, so when you have this, let's say we want to go with this staircase. Okay. Okay, and if you want to define these staircase settings, what you need to do is to click at these steps and then go to edit type, and you will see there is an options for you to under the construction menu for you to change the run type, the landing type, and the function. Okay, okay. For instance, enlarge these windows. Okay, and then we will go with this run type. Okay, let's say for the run type, you will have to add another slanted riser. Okay, and you can also define the thread material and riser material, for instance. So let's say the thread material will be wooden. Okay, say we go with wood material. Okay, and then the riser material will be a steel. Okay, and click apply. Okay, and you can also control the thickness, the thread thickness 50 and the riser thickness 12.5. Okay. Okay, and this would be if you change this to shaded. Okay, and this is how you're going to change the thread material and the riser material. And you will see there is a little bit slanted there. Okay, and what are the things that we can do with these settings? So let's say if you don't want to stop with this end with riser, so what we need to do is you just need to click at the steps, okay, and go to edit stairs. Okay, and by clicking these steps, you will have options to begin with riser and to end with riser. And if you choose not to, means you have to untick this. Okay, and then you can also extend below riser base if you want to. Okay, then click apply. Then your staircase will be stopped like that. Okay. Okay, and other things that we can do is, let's say you want to change the way you do supports. For concrete, it will be easier because let's say we change with concrete, it will be a straightforward staircase like this. Okay, but for steel staircase, what you need to do is to define the supports. Okay, so if you want to go to the support settings, so if you go to edit tab, then you will see there is a right support, a left support, and middle supports. And for this reason, let's say you want to deal with the middle supports with a carriage 50 mm width. So you can close the right supports and also the left support, and then you will define the numbers of supports you need to have. click apply, click OK. Okay. Okay, this is how you're going to define the supports. Okay, so everything that you need to do, you have to make it clear in the edit type options. Okay, and that is for the staircase. Okay, so the next thing to deal with is the what we call it, the railing. Okay, so let's say you want to specify railing. So railing in Revit, it can be hosted by ramps, by staircase, by walls, and whatever things that you have in your architecture model. But sometimes if you want to do it freely and you want to assign the host later, you also can do that. Okay, for instance, I will have this kind of ramp. Okay, for level 1, I'm creating the ramp run here. Okay. Okay, and then even though it comes with ramps, the ramp comes with the railing, then you still can do some sort of custom ramp modeling if you want to. Okay, then if you want to go with the railing modeling, so you have options to either straight away place on a stair ramp, but sometimes things doesn't go that way. Let's say if you have modeled it up outside of the ramp area, or if you change the model, okay, and then you can also get the preview button done to be viewed in 3D. Okay, and then you can click finish if you have to, if you have done with this ramp layout. So what you can do with this, so let's say you are editing this and moving this in on top of the ramp, you will see the ramp is not always aligned with, the railing is not always aligned with the ramp slope. Okay, so there are a few methods. So the best, what you can do is just simply click at the railing, pick at the new host, and assign the new ramp. Okay, so let's say what else that we can do here, or for specific ramp positioning, what you can do is to model railing straight away placed on stair. Okay, and then you can see if you have done this method, so it will be a lot easier for you to place the railing on top of the ramps or staircase, because for latest Revit 2018 and above, we have these features for you to automate the ramp position. Okay, and the rest, if you want to deal with like creating a hoarding for site components, creating a fencing, so that would be another methods for you to place to pick new hosts. Okay, for ramp and staircase, you can always use place on the ramp and staircase instead. And to modify the ramp, okay, let's say you have this, to modify the railing here. So what you can do is to go to edit type and define whatever things that you can do with this rail structure and baluster placement. Okay, and before that, you also need to clarify whether you need to have a top rail, okay, or whether you need to have the handrail 1, handrail 2. For instance, let's say you want to have the handrail 1 as your guard rail. Okay, so click at this very small box button at the type here. Okay, and then we'll choose the meter types with, okay, you can assign the material later, and you can define the extension if you want to. Post extension for n is also post. Okay, and then the length would be, for instance, 300. Okay, and then click OK, click apply, and OK. Sorry for that. Okay, handrail 1 position would be on the right. Okay. So this is how you're going to add additional guardrail, okay, like this, okay, by defining the components at the edit type, handrail 1, and also if you have done with this handrail, you can define the top rail as well. So if you want to change the top rail, you need to have the profile created. So I believe we will have another specific topic for railings connected by my colleague, okay, and then we will cover on that features later on. Okay, and let's say you want to deal with the rail structure and baluster placement, okay, and these settings, what you need to understand with this setting is first, you have to define the start post, corner post, and end post. So it will be the main post that you for your railing. So sometimes it will be bigger, a little bit bigger. Okay, let's say I'm putting as square 25. Okay, and then for corner post also square 25, and so on. Okay, and by aligning with this post, so that it will be drawn automatically by selecting the right layout of your railing, okay? And then in here, we have the regular baluster. So, okay, that for you to define. And if you, let's say, when you look at the glass railing type, we also have the glass, the glaze 800 mm type for in this template, standard template in Revit. Okay, so let's say you need to go with the baluster 20 mm. Okay, you can define the distance from previous. It means the gap. Okay, so if you want the gap to be like 300, 200, 100, whatever the gaps that you want, then you can deal with this. So let's say I'm changing to 200. Okay, and then click apply. So this is the settings. If you want to understand how you're going to control number of balusters, the gap of the balusters, and the sizing of the posts. And then for staircase railing, you have to define either you want to use baluster per thread on stairs here. Okay, if you want to use, then you have to define the balusters per thread. So for every steps in Revit staircase in here by default it states 2. Okay, but you can also get it done by putting 1 for as usual, because most of the railings here we do it like that. Okay, and then you can click OK. But that's only for staircase. Okay. And the rail structure. Okay, so if you want to have the additional rail structure, for instance, you want to add another kick rail. Okay, so I will give the name of kick rail here with the height of 200 from bottom. Okay, and you have to also define the profile. So let's say I'm adding the rectangular handrail shape types here, and you can also assign the material, let's say for steel, for wooden, and so on. So, okay, and we'll click apply, click OK. So this would be applied as your kick rail. So it regardless whatever railing type that you wish. Okay, so 200 mm gap that I created is being set here, and also I have added the kick rail as my additional railing. Okay, and I also added the guardrail for you to define the guardrail position. It can be inside and it can be also outside railing, depends on the situation, left or right. Okay, so that is actually the fundamental of modeling staircase and railing. So I hope you guys learned something new for those who just knew about Revit. Okay, now I'm going back to the questions. If you guys have any questions, okay.
I have questions here.
Yeah.
Is it very common that the hotel or whatever convention hall, they have higher floor height, and mostly they have uh, 3 flights are very common. So when you draw, it's very difficult to control. The first and second flight is okay. The third flight is overlapped today. So how to make it happen when we're doing this? Also, the spiral staircase can be
Okay.
1.5 turn. So
Mm-hmm.
I tried spiral staircase only can 1 full turn. When reach after the first round, you can't do further already. So how to resolve these two problems?
Okay, for spiral staircase, if you would like to have the 1.5 round, so you have to define properly the rises and steps value, and that needs to be done by controlling the formula. Okay, so I don't have the right material for now. Okay, but for you, you can drop me your email so that I will show you the method, and I will understand your situations better. So for Mr. Tan, okay, and
Yeah.
then to customize balustrade at the turning, ending, and how to join railing of staircase with the floor landing. So if you're speaking of customization, so most of the time, people will go with like model in place. Okay, so that would be not the best solutions, but the easier way to solve the standard spiral staircase or any staircase issues, especially when you want to go to detail up further your staircase model. Okay, so for Mr. Tan, please drop me your email, then I will attend to your issues later on.
Okay. Another one
Okay.
is
Mm.
the flight, the same height of
Okay.
railing when you do on the flight, and
Okay.
the actual floor landing, the joint we couldn't get it joint all the walls. You can see a difference and the gaps because of height is different.
The flight for what?
Is it the
Railing?
railing at the flight
Okay.
and the actual floor landing?
Okay.
So if let's say you had 900, so 900, the 900 won't join.
Yeah, for joining of course for the landing railing. Okay, if you reach at the top level, so if you need to join the flight, okay, so it would very difficult for you to have a single model, a single setting of railing. Okay, let me show you some samples. So for instance, let's say I'm creating the floor model here. Okay, and then if you want to have a, let me move this here. I'm creating sections. Okay, and this be the situation. So let's say you go with the monolithic stairs. Okay, and then if you want to have the additional steps, you would just need to drag the bubble here. Okay, and then so these situations, if you really want to stop the staircase like this, so if you straight away draw your railing, this would solve your issue. Okay, but sometimes your railing would not end this way. Okay, and you have to model another railing. So let's say I'm going with level 2, doing like this, and if you want to go with railing sketch path. Okay, this one is the railing pipe. Okay, and if you drag these steps, okay, if you wish to not to stop the, not this way, if you are modeling without the end riser, then it will be easier for you to control. If you model with the end riser, sometimes it will turn out like this, right? So if this kind of situation, the solution is to either disable the riser and drag the models up to the floor level, floor finish level. Okay, what I need to do is create things like this, edit stairs. Okay, click at the steps again, untick with the end riser, click finish, and you will have the very clear flat railing connected to this. But of course, you will have a different model because I modeled it differently. Okay, but if you straight away continue with this, okay, let's say you want to draw straight away. Okay. Okay, let me hide this. Okay, so this will be the way if you want to combine with the flight. Okay, and if you are working with staircase with the end riser, so things would be very different because your staircase will end like this. Okay, and the other part of flat railing will be turn out hanging like this. And what you need to do is to create a new railing settings to define the actual height for this angle. For instance, if I'm calculating this, measure this part, so this would be 248. Okay, and then the next reading would be, and the total height would be 1073. So this is the new railing type that you need to create to solve this issue.
By then we have two paths, right?
Yeah.
By then they have two separate staircase paths.
Yes.
No, two railing paths.
Yeah, it is two railing type. It's not railing paths. Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to edit type, duplicate. Let's say I'm making it quick here. It's 1073, and change the top railing 1073, and click OK. And sorry, this one is not 1073, it's 100 mm. And the new railing type would be sketch path with 1073. Okay. Okay, and then you pick this on level 2. Okay. So this would be, of course, you can control the railing height later on. Okay, but this is the way you are defining the same flight height for this railing, two different railing. Okay, and it all depends on how you're going to end the staircase. Okay, I hope I answered the questions.
Yeah, by then the joint is not perfect, right?
Yes, it's not really, it's not perfect at all, because the roles of this end width riser is very important for you to control.
Yeah. Another question is about the mid landing, the turning point. Always architect wish to have different way of putting the post. So if you're using adjustment of intervals or whatever, then reach to the intermediate, the turning, you won't get what architect want. Is very difficult.
Yeah, I have to admit that it is very difficult to control the post position. Okay, and if you are going with this really detailed spec, I would highly suggest you are creating specific families for that particular railing standards. Okay, because Revit comes with standards that sometimes will not work for everyone. Okay, especially if you go for next detail level for LOD 400 and above. For construction detailing, also it will turn out this method where we will have this issue for railing positions, even though you have defined the gap clearly. Sometimes it will mix up the position like this lah.
Sometimes like this. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So the solution is to go with either creating your new family model of railing, okay, and then put it into the models just to make it in the right sizing and dimension. That is
Some
my
sort of like model in place, I mean.
Modeling in place is one way. Creating a new railing family with parameters and so on is also another way that you can work with.
Okay.
All right. So, is there any other questions from others? So, I hope, Mr. Tan, I will attend to your spiral issues later on by email. Okay. And then.
Okay.
Okay. So. Okay, for this session, if you guys want to watch back this live, we also have the lives, Facebook lives in our Facebook page running now, and you can also watch the recorded in our YouTube page. And for I will have another pollings for you to answer. Okay, so if you guys don't have any more questions, I would like to say thank you for your time for attending this webinar. So I hope these short sessions you learn something new. Okay, and for next upcoming webinar, if you wish to look at our next upcoming webinar, would be next topic will be introduction to Wellman Inventor. Okay, we also have next week for me. My topic will be how to register your survey data by using Recap Pro and using that into Civil 3D or Revit. Okay, so this will be my topics next week. So if you guys feel free to join any webinars available in our website. Okay, thank you guys for answering the pollings. Okay, and if you guys have any issue, feel free to go to our help desk. Okay, by going to our website and find the menu, help desk menu. Okay, it's the new help desk, and if you have new cases, whether it's technical, it's technical for your to fulfill your job requirement, or is this for regarding the software issues, you can also continue as guest. Okay, and define your name. Okay, define your descriptions. Okay, and don't forget to put your email. Okay, and don't forget also to put your company info and then key in the detailed descriptions and category with priority. So if it's urgent, then we will get back to you in a short period of time. So for 25 of you, thank you for attending this session. So I hope you guys will join our next sessions upcoming with online lessons. Okay, so if there is no other questions, so I will stop this session now. Thank you again for joining these sessions. Bye-bye.